Hey, el Nex, el orfanato.
Hi everybody, this is Ken. Ken works at In-N-Out. Ken is a great employee, but he has one major flaw. Ken is only 15 years old. One day at work, Ken is taking his customer's order, and one customer recognizes him. He says, "Aren't you the Joneses' little boy? Aren't you turning the big 1-6 soon?" Ken's manager overhears this conversation and regrettably has to let Ken go. It's illegal for someone under the age of 16 to work. Ken, however, is not considered unemployed now. The unemployment rate does not count anyone under the working age population. Ken is considered not in the labor force because he is neither employed nor unemployed. Even if Ken were to do chores in his house, he would not be considered unemployed. Unemployment does not count unpaid family workers, or people who work without pay in a family-owned enterprise. Not in the labor force also does not include the retired or those who don't want to work, not just the young. Ken decides to have fun and be a kid now. Ken has now spent all of his money. Ken is very sad now. Finally, the day comes when Ken turns 16. Now he's able to get a job. He's also very willing to get a job. This is the definition of unemployment: a person who is willing and able to work, and has actively been looking for work for the past 4 weeks. Ever since Ken's 16th birthday, he's been looking for a job. He's had no such luck, even though he's been actively searching. Active methods include, but are not limited to, contacting an employer directly, having a job interview, contacting friends or relatives, contacting public-private employment agencies, placing or answering advertisements, and sending out resumes and applications. Passive methods include attending job trainings or readings about job opportunities in the paper. No potential to result in a job offer can come from doing these, and these people are not considered unemployed. But we'll talk about this more later. Back to Ken. Since Ken has been actively searching for a job, he's considered frictionally unemployed. This is the time spent when a person is searching for or transitioning to another job. This includes people looking for their first job and people coming back into the workforce after a period of time away. Finally, after many rejections, Ken gets a job at Taco Bell. Ken is now employed. People who have jobs, even if only part-time, are considered employed. Ken makes friends at work. While Ken and Cho are hanging out, they go racing. There's an accident, and Cho falls into a coma. About 10 years roll by, and he wakes up. Once he's oriented back into his life, he does not go looking for a job because he doesn't think anyone will hire him. Cho is a discouraged worker. This is a type of underemployment that is not counted in the unemployment rate. Other types include involuntary unemployment, which are things like disabilities, where a person is willing but unable to work. Eventually, Cho's friends convince him to start applying for jobs. After 4 weeks of no luck, Cho heads to the unemployment office. They offer him unemployment insurance, which is some money to help him stay on his feet. The nice man explains to him that since he's been out of work for so long and times have changed, his skill sets are now obsolete. This is the definition of structurally unemployed. Cho must return to school to gain new skills. Our friends, Ken and Cho, have now experienced the 2 types of good unemployment. There's one more type: cyclically unemployed. This is a bad unemployment because it means the business cycles are at a low point and output is not being maximized. Cho now ends up in James's macro-econ class and is inspired. Cho decides to begin working for the BLS once he completes school. Cho decides to work for the BLS. This is the Bureau of Labor Services. These people measure the unemployment rate. Good job, Cho. Once he starts at the BLS, one of Cho's first assignments is to send out the Current Population Survey, or CPS. This is a monthly survey that helps calculate the unemployment rate. This is how the unemployment rate is usually conducted. Not every house in the United States is counted in unemployment rate. Only about 60,000 houses are surveyed for it. Every time the BLS runs a survey, only 1/4 of the homes are changed. The unemployment survey collects information about the industry and occupation of their last job held, the duration of unemployment, reasons for being jobless, and job search methods. There are pros and cons to this way of measuring. One pro is that it is a quick and relatively efficient way of calculating unemployment. The cons, however, consist of not including under-the-table activity, not including discouraged workers, involuntary workers, or unpaid family workers. The CPS is not completely reliable in finding the unemployment rate. This is also only a survey. It does not take into account every household. Once Cho receives his responses to the CPS, he is free to calculate the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is calculated by the unemployed workers divided by the labor force times 100 to get a percent. Let's see what our current unemployment rate is. The current unemployment rate comes out to be about 8.2%. When people are unemployed, workers and their families lose wages, and the country loses goods and services that could have been produced.